All right. All right. I know the music gets quieter for you guys, but it doesn't get quieter for me, so it's always a weird transition. But anyway, hello. Yes, I see you chatting about the gems. So you tried, or rubies, or whatever the heck they're called. I noticed in the last stream, it didn't like tell me anything. It's like, oh, someone, you got this many ruby bit gem thingies. So I don't know where they go. I don't know if I didn't look anything past that. So there might be accumulating somewhere till you hit a threshold. I did want to ask the Wisp, what is the minimum you can give on those little ruby thingies? Also, I'm having wire trouble here. This needs to like latch somewhere. Mobile first. Quite the lag on the live stream, is it? I mean, we just started, Glenn. But I was piddling with something, so I'm trying to do the dual thing where there's a vertical one and there's a horizontal one. So, and remember, I thought YouTube had already added the auto crop thing, or the manual crop, where I could tell it where to crop the stream, but that's not a thing yet for everybody. So I was like, okay, there's this plugin you can get for OBS, and I don't think it's working. A minute delay. Well, it shan't be. Refresh yourself. Tell you folks, like 3. 2 is the minimum. Okay, well, I mean, Wisp, if you're Glenn, I don't know what's going on with you. Is anybody else super lagging? But I was gonna say, Wisp, at some point, if you want to experiment with your rubies while you got them, we can try and set up the notification thing when somebody donates weird fake currencies. But I also want to try. The lag is bad. Well, the lag might be because of this goofy thing I'm trying to do, which I can't uninstall it mid-flight. But I might try turning it on and see what happens. Last time I tried it before I went live, and at some point it just randomly took the vertical stream and put it on the horizontal and like stretched it. Because YouTube tries to do everything automatically. So let me push the button and see what happens. Because you have to feed it the same stream key, because YouTube won't let me set up a second stream key yet. I think that's a feature coming later. But they're like, no, use the same key and we'll AI auto-detect which one's vertical and which one's horizontal. So let's see what happens when I click this button. I don't see anything happening. Peter! What's happening? But I'm watching the YouTube preview to see if it flips it over to the wrong one again. But right now, both of them are wrong. Well, the horizontal one's right. The vertical one is just a poorly cropped horizontal stream. Still fine? All right. Well, it's set there for a while before it decided to flip. But, okay, now, there it goes, yeah, this thing is shit, it just does not work, okay, there it goes, yeah, this thing is shit, it just does not work, okay. That's so bad. That's so bad. Alright, well, let's turn that off. A super zoom! Yeah. Yep. Give it a second. I turned off the vertical stream. Or at least in OBS. YouTube still thinks I'm vertical. There we go. Oh, now the quality's super bad. I'm in like 3p, 3.5. We'll see if it figures itself out. Yeah, this new feature of theirs does not work well. Okay, can we... I'm kind of limited when I'm live. Yeah, Grimwood, it just straight up doesn't work. They say it's a feature, but it does not work. Don't touch that button again. What's up, Cyros? So yeah, I mean, I think if anybody's on their phone, I mean, I'll try and look. If you want to go, I don't know how you find live, vertical lives. If I go to my channel, which the app is not working. Okay, here we go. It shows a horizontal live. I go to shorts, the app just doesn't work. Very good. I go to live, that also doesn't work. There we go. Yeah, so I don't know. YouTube gonna YouTube, I guess. Anyway. There's a very annoying cat behind me. Alright. So I asked Blaze this yesterday when I was sitting at the car dealership waiting on what I thought was an oil change, but ended up just being a tire rotation. Are dealerships notoriously infamous, terrible outside of America, or is that just an American thing? Alright, cat, you gotta go. YouTube shitting out a terrible feature? Preposterous, I say. Yeah, who'da thought? Well, part of it, this plugin is not very good either. I didn't want to use it, but it's what was available. So, yeah. What's coming down the road is YouTube will let you set up a second stream key for your vertical. I don't know why you can't do it now. Like, there's the drop down button, but all it is auto. You can't do anything else. Yeah, they did let me stream again, even though I keep trying to break it. My camera is double? Oh, it is, isn't it? Yeah, that's... Look, cat. Get in. Yeah, it is, because that is the plug-in Glee. It super sucks. Because if I turn the cam off in the vertical feed... Oh no, it didn't mess it up in that one. Okay. It like kept duplicating stuff. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. Yeah, I will be getting rid of that plugin as soon as this stream is over. Yeah, Cyros, I don't know what's up with the YouTube delay going on. I will blame this plugin I got trying to piggyback off of it or something. And I can't like... Yeah, I can't really change anything because we're live. I've not heard anything bad about German car shops. Like, yeah, that's what you were saying. Ordered a book from Amazon beginning of last week. Said it would be here in 2 days, and it never shipped and changed to Tuesday. Yesterday it shipped and should be here today. Yeah, well, if it's my book, I don't know what the deal is there. Like, it takes me 2 weeks to get I can get a proof in like 5 days, but if I order the actual book, it takes like 2 weeks. At least in Chile, you have good and bad ones. They do good work, but sometimes they illegal work. Do you control the holes on it? Well, that's what we were talking about, Kazdoc. Yes and no. I'm supposed to be able to, but I can't actually. YouTube's still rolling out features, but they're like half-assing some of them. They're like, hey, here's a button for you to go also vertical, but you can't control anything. It'll just randomly crop the center. So like, it says I'm live vertically, but all you're getting is the center crop of this stream, which is mostly just a whiteboard. So I guess I could do this if anybody is actually on vertical. I could scoot that towards the center so they can at least see that. Oh, man. Oh, it did flip the latency. I can't change it now that we're live to normal instead of low. So maybe that's why. Y'all can let me know how bad it is. Live and direct. Wisp, you can watch wherever the heck you want. Dismantling stolen cars. Well, yeah, that's a thing here too. Concept of a dealership is a terrible middleman structure that only exists because of heavy lobbying. Sounds fun. I was also representing the outer limits. Car dealerships, not car workshops. Yeah. Car dealerships. Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, I got a 2018 Camry, right? You're gonna throw up. 10 seconds behind Twitch. Oh, that's not that bad. My body hurts today. But I got a Camry and it's like, okay, you know, I'll take it to the dealership for its regular maintenance. Try and take care of it since I bought it brand new. But it's so frustrating, you know? It's like I was there for just over 2 hours. All they did was an alignment, a front end alignment, and rotate the tires. That's it. Not even an oil change. It's like, why did that take you so long? And of course, you know, they wanted way too much money for an alignment. And then they were like, oh, hey, you know, you got a slight puncture in this tire. That, you know, we can sell you a tire for $250. I was like, no, I could get 4 for about 300. So... that video was Jordan. What is tabletop? It was hilarious. I need to finish it. Yeah, why did I start hurting all of a sudden right before streaming? A fun and silly time. Allergies are killing you. Just about to lay down, actually. But are you, Mustache? Are you currently on the other side of the world? I forgot. Or is that in a couple days when you're heading out? I think. But anyway, I was going to ask, did anybody on your mobile devices, is it showing Scrat is live and it's just the little face I have drawn? Discount tire, they've been more on the honest side stuff. Yeah, I forget where. I either get mine from Walmart or some other site, but they're like pretty good. Leave on Thursday. Okay, that's a couple days though. Yeah, I gotta get over that. And I guess, Wisp, if you're down, we can maybe try the little dono thing with the what are they called? Is it rubies or is it gems on your end? Cause oh, that's that. Because I have, so these are the, well, it just says donation / super chat. And then I have cheers and bits. But I can select that as YouTube. Well, that's filtered by source. There's also just a has donation. I see the face, your camera, and the chat. You're vertical. So you see the whole thing. That's weird. Okay. So YouTube, what YouTube says it's sending to vertical is either a lie or you're watching the normal stream just vertically. Shows normal, stream looks the same. Okay, yeah, so like I said, I don't know how you find vertical lives, like where those live. I don't know if you have to scroll through random shorts and it shows up, but I don't know, it's weird. Jewels, okay. Yeah. Okay, so jewels. So I have as donation. So let's do that, and then we'll say we'll do a feature message because we know we have that overlay working. Why can't I? Fires if the message. Well, yeah, why can't I? There we go. What? Kind of glitchy. Okay. So technically that should work. I will screen cap and put it in the Discord. Hey yo, tour. We got that chat at the bottom. Yeah, there you go. You found it. For your edification. Okay. I mean, that's fine. Like, that's the normal stream, but there's supposed to be some kind of vertical mode. I don't know. I kind of don't care either. I'll just wait for my auto crop ability and ignore it till then. They show up while you scroll shorts. Okay. I appreciate the screenshot there, Kazdoc. Where does one get to the yeah, I don't know either, Skill. Apparently you gotta scroll shorts to find it, which seems a little counterproductive if you want to find somebody. Alright, Wisp, shoot off the minimum amount of Jimmy Bit Ruby jewel thingies you can do. I already forgot what they were called. Jewels. Alright, and we'll see if it auto features your message. We'll see. And then we get fancy, we can start adding sounds. Ching, 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 ching. And you said they all expire at the end of the month. Sent sparkles for 2 jewels. Okay, I see that in the YouTube chat, but not my chat feed over here. Interesting. It's not picking those up. I wonder if those are too new and the plugin needs updated. So yeah, I can't even click it manually like I can do these. So, well, that's interesting. Very interesting. Alright, well, we can't really do much with that if the plugin's not picking up. I can't even see donation thingies. Or at least the new ones with the Julie Jim bit things. Interesting stuff. Can't send it along with the message. Yeah. This week anyway. It might be different next week. They're like a sticker sending separate only. I do have... That's right, I can see this. Oh, you spent sparkles twice. Okay. Man, I don't know why my back started hurting so bad all of a sudden. How goes the book stuff? Well, what's today? Tuesday, right? I get a book back tomorrow. a whole book, so I'll have to. This will be the heavy duty pass. Like this is, if you know, if you're doing the whole process, I feel like once we get through this first pass, that's like 80% of the hard part. That's the big chunks of stuff, and then everything else is just polishing, fine-tuning. Gets real boring after that part. Stuck in the car. Hey, look, I didn't get any con crud while I was there. Are you sick or is it allergies? I thought you said it was allergies. My allergies actually haven't been too bad this year. But hopefully you didn't get a sinus infection. Anyway, yeah, get a book back tomorrow, and then I'll have a whole bunch of notes to read over, look over, think about, and then Monday morning, almost like first thing, we're gonna have a big long chat, a little heart-to-heart call, and going over it, really, like, you know, is there any big things we need to discuss, and all that. And then it'll be lots of typing after that. I'll be a very busy boy. Well, let me rephrase that. I'll be a very busier boy. Allergies, our immune system being trigger happy. Yeah. I hate allergies so much. Think it's just allergies. That's good. Glenn, sparkles are just silly. Some YouTube accounts, apparently not all of them, have jewels that they can spend now, and we don't know how they get jewels, but it's some kind of fake currency, and they can just use it to throw things and make things pop up in the chat. But technically, it converts to pennies. We'll see what the conversion rate is. Are we still going to do Hangouts and Moss and Stones with me? Yeah, so that's the plan. I will still stream. So streaming is pretty easy for the most part. Like these Hangouts, I just kind of have to fight with new features. I get very frustrated with that, but like, you know, when this stream's over, I'm just going to install it and go right back to normal. But like for the Hangouts, I just have to show up and spend some time. So, and it's the Hangout streams, I've finally gotten to the point, if I don't have anything, I'll still show up. Like, I don't care. We're just here to hang out. I used to feel like I had to make something or have something prepared, but it's a fun time. I enjoy it. It's very relaxing. It's not particularly work, but it does take up a lot of time. Because we do have some long ones. Moss and Stone, I was kind of leaning to slowing down the streams anyway, because it just needs played. I do have some changes I made we can talk about. I don't think we're streaming Moss and Stone this week because I had an interview. Let's see, where's my calendar? Yeah, no Moss and Stone this week because Friday, I have an interview with a guy making a VTT, and it's super duper cool. I want to show that off. And I learned back in February when YouTube was like, hey, do all the streaming. I kind of burnt you guys out, so I try to keep it at 2 to 3 streams a week. So if, you know, if I'm like 5 streams and they're all you want to watch, that's a big time investment on your part. So I try and spread it out to where you can get all the scratch you can and make it a little more feasible. So I will still do that. We'll still do Hangouts. We'll do Moss and Stone where I can. I just, like I said, need to play it. That will be harder to do with all the writing if I'm having to make a session. Now, if somebody else wants to run a session, that's another story. So we will still be streaming. All that to say, I will still stream. And I do have my next video I'm working on, which I can tell you, it ain't gonna spoil nothing. I reached out to DM Scotty, the guy who made Rogue Octopus, Peter's on there too. The guy who made Hellborn, not Hellbound, Hellborn, and who's my fifth guy? The guy who made Adventurous. And I asked them all the same 4 questions, and it's about making your own project, and it's some challenges. It's like, well, I'll just tell you the questions I found or asked them. Oh, Glee's sending me. Hang on, y'all need to see this. The turtle's on the move today, apparently. He's been exploring, going in and out of the pond. But anyway, let's see. Who did I message recently? So the questions I asked them were about how long did it take from your first idea for the game to actually becoming a published and finished thing people could buy. You know, between idea, finished product. How long did that take? The second one was, what was the most drastic change your game went through during the creation process, and how did you know the game was better for it? Third question is, was there ever a time you seriously thought the whole thing wasn't going to work or wasn't worth it, and you wanted to give up? And if so, how'd you push through that? And the last question is, what is one thing you know that you know now that you really wish you would have known then when you were making it? So the idea is to look at very different sized projects. Like, I would consider Peter's Tales from Elsewhere project, even though it's not a super crunchy game, it is a big project. That is a big book. It was a big Kickstarter. There's lots of artists he's wrangling, and big community and everything. So that is a big project. Whereas EZD6 it's such a tight little system, and it's a smaller book. And then Rogue Octopus is like this super lighthearted, you know, fairly simple thing. And then Hellborn is kind of in between EZD6 and Tales from Elsewhere and stuff like that. So I tried to get a good range. And the idea was to just show, you know, all these people in different places are facing the same challenges, and sometimes your ideas can just drastically change course. And, you know, sometimes you just got to go where the wind blows. Or sometimes you have to stay the course, you know. Depends. So I think it'll be interesting. That'll be an interesting video. So I will be working on that. As a first-time creator, I'm curious about their answers. Yeah, well, I mean, as a long-time creator, I'm curious of their answers. I'm really curious to see what Scotty says about if there's a mechanic that changed drastically in there. Like, did karma come in last second or something? Let's see, let me catch up. So we can just throw loose change at you if you want. Those silver dollars might hurt a little bit. It's actually 2-1 in the negative, 50 for $1. Wow. Well, that's what you pay them for, or is that actually how they convert? Or both? Let me throw quarters at you. Oh, you sent a screenshot. Let me check that out. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay, so that's your purchase rate. 50 for $1. Man. Imagine buying 20,000 gems. So, see, this is what I wonder. So you're losing half your money on purchasing gems. Do I lose half when the gems are given to me? Because, like, if you just give me money through a super chat or something, YouTube takes 45% of that. So that's pretty wild, man. You need all that info as a developer? I think it'll be good. The idea is to be, yes, helpful, but also just kind of, I was focusing on the discouragement, because, you know, a lot of people, you know, they'll get neck deep in something and they're like, oh my gosh, I don't think I'm ever going to finish, or this is so different from what I've started, I don't think I know where I'm going or what I'm doing. And sometimes that is a problem, but sometimes you just change course. That happens a lot, for me anyway, in writing. I will go this way, and I think we talked about it in another stream. Just imagine being 1 degree off, but you're traveling a bazillion miles, so you will end up way off course. So I hope it will be helpful and uplifting, encouraging. Yes, DM Scotty is awesome. Pretty cool guy. Instead of Moss and Stone, do the world building streams. Yeah, so I do have a lot of Kesha Knight world building I need to do. That I have got that high up on my radar. If I like need to fill a stream for the week or something, we will definitely do that, and we might do some of that today. I've been poking the Beastkin a bit, and we've been talking about that. So Hangout streams could kind of morph into world building streams or Kesha Knight. Honestly, I probably need a better name for Hangout streams. Even though we are just kind of hanging out, like sometimes we'll get to poking and stuff, you know, working here and there. Like technically I could pull up the Moss and Stone manual today and do a little bit of work. And that's what I would prefer to do. Like I just have a few Moss and Stone changes I'd like to share, but I try to keep it all in the Moss and Stone stream. But my voice should be restored sufficiently to record for you this weekend. Woo! I still gotta write a script. Do all the editing. So you still got time. Love to play and hang with DM Scotty sometimes. So far we've been in ships. Sometimes so far we've been ships passing it. Yeah, dude, he was super fun to play with. Both as a player and then when he ran the game too. I'm catching up on chat. I'm a little fish thrown into a scary deep pond. Somehow of my own will. No one is anyone until they make themselves someone. There you go. Reign of the Horned Emperor started as a Troika hack. I need to play Troika. That and Dai Hachi Hachi. He's been in the server like almost since the beginning. He recommended like 2 or 3 years ago Grok. Said it was a fun little game that doesn't get a lot of coverage. So that's another one I want to play. Or Grok. I don't know how you pronounce it. Grok with a exclamation point. Then a Swiver's hack, and now back as a Troika hack. 5 years of work. Yep. You rather give money directly? Yes! Give me that sweet money. I am catching up on chat as fast as I can. What's the way to get the most money direct to you, Scrat? So, obviously PayPal is the most direct, but I do have a Buy Me a Coffee link in all my streams, and they take a very small percentage, so I would much prefer people do that. And I really want to do more with the Buy Me a Coffee thing, because you can set up like a little store kind of thing in there. So I'd like to put little ttrpg tidbits or something in there people can grab. You know, like, here, I'll give you $1, and you should have access to everything, right? So build up a fun library for like the Mega Man monsters we made and stuff like that. Just fun little things. Troika hack might not be accurate anymore as a Frankenstein. Oh, and Warhammer. Woo! Currently having an issue with my main project, so now one of my side projects is ready for playtest unexpectedly. Don't you love it when that happens? You know, sometimes a side project becomes the main project. And that's a thing for like side characters and things too. And the classic example of that is Boba Fett from Star Wars. He was supposed to be like 1 or 2 scene throwaway character, but everybody just latched onto him, so you never know. Falling in love with the project is a problem too. Oh yes, I stepped away from my fantasy game. You know what, instead of looking over to the side, I'm gonna bring this over here. Falling in love with the project. I stepped away from my fantasy game dev baby only for Dark Mecha to become one I've fallen in love with too. Yep. So that is a big problem I see in writing. A lot of people, and I think I got twice dead on this one too. Somebody will put so much work into a story and they'll refine, but it never goes anywhere. It becomes a very special baby. Like, it's so common to hear somebody say, yeah, I've been working on this story for 10 years. And it's like, okay, stop. Go work on something else. That's why I said I think I got twice dead with that. And he said it ended up being good advice. So if you spend too much time on it, you lose your way with writing a story. Now, TTRPGs, I can't speak too much on. I know you can get lost in the weeds of mechanics especially if you're trying to make them perfect, you have to learn how to say that's good enough. That's where my perspective is a little skewed, I guess, from writing. Like, there was a skill he picked up just saying, this is good enough, let's move on. And with a lot of the work I was doing too, in manufacturing, engineering, automation, and all that, it's just like, good enough, let's go. Like, that is a hard skill to learn sometimes. So you might have seen it with Moss and Stone. It's just like, when we're working on something, it's like, okay, yep, this is good enough, let's just go to the next thing. Okay. And if it becomes a problem later, we'll address it. Hangout is good. Okay. Full squirrel mode, like bouncy, all bouncy and going whatever catches our attention. I mean, that's what we've done pretty much. Scrap print your own sticker sheet win. I need to. I will say the avatar that Ignacio has made, it's on my thumbnails and stuff, the channel avatar, that squirrel mascot, he's been a big hit. People really like him, so I could see a sticker sheet of him, and as well as some of the, can I print the badly photoshopped squirrel? He'd be fun to put on some stuff, especially with the little stick. Just have him pointing to stuff. But it's a royalty-free image, but I mean, am I allowed? I guess I am allowed to grab it, right? Because I've seen stuff from that site printed on shirts on Amazon, but that doesn't mean it's legal, I guess. Some of my side projects are tough to play test because they require physical in-person play. That can make it a little more difficult, such as the struggle. Twister the RPG. Lore can take you to. Yeah, well, that's kind of what I was getting at, Dave, with the people spending 10 years on a story. It's not so much they're actually working on the story. They're working 9 times out of 10, I feel like they're working on the world and the lore, and they're defining their magic system. It's like, bruh. But see, I feel kind of hypocritical on that because I spend a lot of time on my lore, but I kind of have to, and we talked about this in another stream, because it's so many stories, or will be so many stories, in the same universe. So, like, it has to have that really strong and wide world building scaffolding. Party games that use physical card manipulation. Oh, which isn't easy to replicate. Is that the superhero one, or is this something else? You could try signing up for the Gen Con playtest hall. Ooh, that's right. You're going to the Gen Con again, aren't you, Peter? Not me. Not me. I find constraint helps immensely for keeping a project on track. Well, yeah. There is that. Try the local gaming stores. Yeah, he's got a lot of those by him, I think. Or semi-nearby. Leverage the abundance of game stores. Been a recluse. How dare you? Peter, a recluse? I don't know if I believe that. The fantasy was my D&D fix. Similar DNA to Dark Mecha, but spike deving isn't good for me. It can be good. Not trying my own thing and just be a better version of something else isn't my path. You helped with that. But see, you still do it out of spite for D&D. If Martin wasn't an author, he would be one of those world-building YouTuber guys, you know. The comic book one I have prepared an owl bear for testing. I have Toast, which is a secret roll poison shrinking game, and Joust, which is a rapid fire 1v1 nightly jousting card game. Very good. Game of Thrones meant to be part 1 of 3 and ended up being 5 books. I didn't know that. Royalty free still doesn't mean you can sell it. It just means there's no royalty fees to have it. Okay. Alright, well. Boy, if you're just now getting to that YouTube is lagging. Woo. Still have to read the terms of service. Yeah. There's a mockingbird out there. Let's see, can we... Oh, you can't see him. Yep, there he is. Bird. You did not. I don't know anything about Game of Thrones. Twice did. Like it did not interest me at all. I didn't care for it. I heard like there was forever waiting on another book, but like I didn't know he intentionally meant 3. And then I know season 8 apparently just disappointed the entire world. Oh, Peter and I still need to schedule our Convergent design video. Yeah. We need to tap the little live button to catch up, but that could be my works. Well, no, I think the dual thing, because I can't turn the dual thing off mid-flight. So I think that's messing it up. A Song of Ice and Fire was meant to be a trilogy. Part 1 got 5 books, and now part 2 and 3 need to fit into 1 book each. Boy. I don't know if I've ever had my rant about trilogies before, but I hate trilogies. I'm very much against them because I feel like so many times the second book is not needed. It was just, they just tried to come up with something to fill the gap so they could have a trilogy. And it's like, no, just make a duology if your story's that freaking long, or just make it 1 book. I was told by a couple editors, believe it or not, Bashkim should have been / could have been a duology, if not a trilogy. And I was just like, absolutely not. There's no need for that. And maybe we'll talk about that Sunday on our Bashkim Bash stream. Peter can help me remember the increasingly misnamed trilogy. Uh-oh. So long, and thanks for the fish. Yep. That's the only part about Hitchhiker's Guide I know. Well, that and that opening line of, in the beginning, there was the universe, and this was widely regarded as a terrible mistake or whatever. It made a lot of people mad. It's a great way to start a book. Now, while we're talking about creative projects, and y'all are here in chatty, for those of you in the Discord, what do you think about, where is it, the creative challenge section? Like, I realized a couple days ago, oh crap, it's been a month since I posted something again. The last one didn't get any responses, and I think the one before that got 1. Let me look. I got 2. All right. But then, like, the first couple we did got a whole bunch of responses. Like, should I keep doing those, or maybe do them a little more often than once a month? Glee said once a week was too much. So maybe a happy medium once every 2 weeks. Because we got that super cool picture from, what's his name? I keep wanting to call him Hobgoblin, but that's not his name. What is the Mighty Hob? Well, that's kind of close. Yeah, we got this super cool picture because the prompt was electric and fuzzy. I don't know if y'all remember this, but that was super cool. Like, he drew that up. That was a super cool prompt. Bro, I mean, a super cool answer to the prompt. Bashkin worked great as a single novel. I agree. Do you remember an editor with balls in the 90s? Garden Kaiju. Ooh, that would be... I mean, we could use that as a prompt. Put that up there. Garden Kaiju. Also, what's up, Mark? Woo! Does it have a shout out tag that helps me out a lot? You mean like a roll to ping for creative prompts? We could make one, if that's what you're talking about. Chilling with some tea. Ooh, I like tea. Fantasy politics, but everyone's bad doesn't do it. Yeah, so that's nothing but interpersonal tension in my recent games. Uh-oh. I was gonna say, Kazduck, that's like, I really dislike stories, movies, shows like that where just everybody's a jerk and nobody's good. It's just like, to me, it's boring and aggravating. Like, if you know, nobody has any redeeming qualities. That was something I felt like, not Stargate Atlantis. What's the Stargate one where they're in the ship dropping all the rings everywhere? They get stuck on that ship that's dropping all the Stargates everywhere. Like, everybody was a jerk. And like, there was nothing likable about them. And like, you can have a jerk character and still like him, but it's like, nah, everybody's just an asshole, and I don't want to watch this. Too many discords. If they don't yell at me, they get lost in the sea. All right, well, we might make one. Not everyone is bad in Game of Thrones, but everyone has issues. Yeah, it just, honestly, when that show was coming out, I just saw a couple trailers and then listened to some people talk about it. And to me, the vibe I was getting was, okay, this show is just shock value. Like, they're just saying how far they can push it. So it did not appeal to me in the slightest. But also, I don't think I like fantasy movies or TV shows. I'm trying to think of one that I like really like that was straight up fantasy. It's kind of weak once the intrigue is gone. Not a good saga to reread. Stargate Universe. Yeah. I think that's what it was called. Creative Spark rolled or something. I do that. Gotta have that core idea of good. Prime example, Godfather is about ruthless criminals, but the core idea of good is loyalty. Yeah, see, that's a good point you make. Good example. Make me watch Merlin. Oh no. Kano in the new Mortal Kombat movies is a good example of a likable asshole. Did you ever try Farscape? No, I did not. But that's the one where they took all the actors and actresses from and put them in Stargate, right? In the later seasons. So it was like watching the same thing almost. There was a bit of shock value, yes, but there was some great acting and world building. Mostly it was worth it for me. You need heroes and redeeming qualities. Stargate Atlantis was great. Yeah, so like, it didn't work for Glee. She hated him, but Rodney McKay was a jerk, but like, there was something there. He was a comedic jerk. Which hat at you? Oh, okay, so... Oh, that's a show. There's a game with that Atelier word in it, and I thought that's what you're talking about. And it looks very anime-y, weeboo-y, but like I've heard such good things about it. Atelier Riser or something. I'm like, okay, I'll get it when it's $5, and man, they do not let that game go on sale. You haven't watched Stargate? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So in the later seasons of the main Stargate, SG-1, right? That was the original show. They went through a couple generals, I feel like, and then what's his name? MacGyver, whatever that actor's name is, Colonel O'Neill. When he left, they brought in the guy. I think he's from Farscape. or whatever you were talking about. Him, but also that British lady. And then Teal'c and Daniel Jackson were still there. But that's like when the O-Rai came in, and it was just like, all right, guys, I think you've had your run. You know? Claudia Black. Wasn't that that lady? Goofy British lady? I might need to watch Farscape. I don't know. Farscape's so good, and Mrs. Sheriff just finished a full rewatch. Wow. I know absolutely nothing about it. Like I said, other than those actors being in it. Part of me wants to rewatch Firefly. I had to dig for it. But I'm wondering, like, is it not going to hold up very well? Is it not going to be as good as I remember? I'll be honest, I don't remember it being anywhere near as good as everybody makes it out to be. It was like just a pretty good show. An organic ship. Do they have one of those in Farscapes? Oh, she's Australian? Is she really? Oh, whatever. Ooh, considering doing a Deep Space Nine rewatch soon. I like Firefly, but I love Serenity. Yeah, I feel like I remember more of the movie than any of the show. They did have an organic ship. Okay. Hey, they had those in Atlantis, Stargate Atlantis too. The Wraith had organic ships, didn't they? Enjoy writing about magicians from the mundane perspective of an officer of the Worm War Band. It has been fun. You could have a book, Twice Dead, that's just like it's just letters from a guard writing, or maybe just journal entries about weird happenings of the wizards that he's guarding the tower of. I also don't hear much about Andromeda. I remember seeing it in the evening on TV and passing. Well, you talking about the movie? That was the Stephen King book or Michael Crichton or whatever? Or was that also a show? What's up, Swords and Stones? The Vorlons also had an organic ship in Babylon 5. Well, see, there you go. Everybody's got one. Howls from the Dark Ages have been lovely so far. So, okay, so there's a series called Andromeda. All right. Oh, see you later, Glenn. Early 2000s. Andromeda Strain was an... Okay, yeah, that was it. Doctor Who had a Star Whale City. Yeah, Glee likes her Doctor Who. My mentor had Crichton as a medical student back in the day. Whoa! Look at you. So he died kind of young, didn't he? He was like 50, 56 or something. I remember getting that news, hearing about it. Made some waves. And that was like, I think Facebook was just starting. think the MySpace was the social media back then. Speaking of writing, the next book in my queue is Eaters of the Dead. As a 13th Warrior fan, I can't wait. You Doctor Who fans are a weird bunch. I do not understand ye. Never made it to MySpace. Man, I was there. For a little while. And then I was like, yeah, I made a page. Now what? Didn't know what to do with it after that. How to show horror in the page has been hard. The terror of being a pikeman trying to hold your ground in the mud while a young worm charges at you from the water. There is a story Twice Dead, or it might just be a little short story that I have rattled in the back of my head for a little while. And it's in the Kesha Night world. That I want to lean in. I guess it's more like a psychological thriller kind of thing. Not horror, but a little bit. I think we talked about it a little bit before, about how there is a race that lives in the mountains and underground that technically dies before the world really gets started. Because their arbiter died, but all their machinery is still going. So all the runs have kind of crumbled and stuff, and an exploration crew, way later, is exploring some runs, cave in, and they're stuck in this big underground set of runs. And there is this large machine just pacing back and forth in this pit it can't get out of. And but anyway, that constant pacing of the machine drives them insane. And like one by one, they're throwing themselves into the pit with the machine, and he crushes them. So that's as close to horror as I've ever gotten. I had a MySpace page when I first started dating the missus. Strange times. I'll say I was working at Lowe's when MySpace was a thing, I think. I know it was, because there was a couple girls that were like, yeah, add me on MySpace. I was like, okay. And then when Facebook it existed, and it was at that very early stage where there wasn't much there and it only kind of half worked. Wow! Text, chat, hold still. It's a show that can be anything by anyone. Fun premise. How much do writers read? Can that poison your writing? So, there is an ongoing argument there, Wisp. There was a video recently that came out. Carl's asking to get advice, so I was just married the first girl that talked to us. Yeah, man. You know me. I'm chasing all of them. See you later, Blaze. I was gonna say, yeah, there was a video that came out recently. I don't really watch his stuff. It doesn't interest me, but that one popped up. I think it's a guy with a box or a man with a box or something. I forget. It's a big channel. And he was talking about some tweet that rolled out and somebody was saying you don't have to read to be able to write, or you don't have to read a lot or somewhere. And I'll be honest, his takes were pretty garbage. It was very boomer-esque for such a young individual, but from what I've heard from the more serious writers out there that are actually writing, they're like, yeah, reading helps, but don't read what you write. Whereas people who do not write, or do not write professionally, or do not write very much, will tell you, oh yeah, you should read all of this, you know, if you're writing fantasy, you should go read Lord of the Rings, you know, over and over and over again, and read this by this guy, you know, right? All the fantasy stuff. It's like, because then you will. It's like you're essentially telling them, go read this so you can imitate it. And it's like, unless that's what you're trying to do, probably not the best advice. But it is good to read other things. Catching up on chat. Read cross-genre. Yeah, something like that. So, like, I love old sci-fi books or stories, you know, like Ender's Game and I, Robot. Like, I love those. Have nothing to do with what I write. But you can still pick up some cool tricks. It's like the way they describe stuff, or like, my writing kind of leans Isaac Asimov style, even though he was a very heavy science fiction writer. But like, as far as my pacing and just getting to the point is like that. And I like that. So it's like, okay, I don't want to waste time describing something. So let me go read some Isaac Asimov and see how he paints a vivid picture with the minimal word count. Say, been watching a lot of Sanderson lectures lately. Oops, man, my chat keeps bouncing around. He says read both. Yeah, honestly, it's gonna be different for everybody. I am very much of the mindset I don't want to read a bunch of what I'm trying to write, because then I feel like I will subconsciously just pick things from that. But also, then when I have a fantasy idea and write something and people say, oh, well, that's like this, I can be like, well, I haven't read that. So I have plausible deniability. It all says more than that. Right. Yeah, that's the other thing. A lot of people are like, oh, you got to read a ton. It's like, no, you need to go write a ton if you want to be a writer. Man carrying thing is really stuck in his own opinion. Pretty boomer. Yeah, that's the man carrying thing. Yeah, it's like, I've watched a few of his videos and it's just like, these are kind of sad. Like, it's like, you're way too young to be this crotchety. What's going on here? Let's see. More of that. Inspiration can come from unexpected places. Yep. Ender's Game is so good. It was so good. I couldn't put that one down. I just read it semi-recently. And because Glee's parents had just got me this whole box set of Ender's Game. And this is another reason I hate trilogies. Like, he wrote Ender's Game, and it was just supposed to be the one book, and then it sold well, and they were like, oh, write more. I'm not reading the other two, because Ender's Game was one story. It started and it ended in one book. So... and I read the blurb on the back, and it's just like, yeah, this just feels like the same story again. You know, change a few characters or whatever. But okay, now Glenn's leaving. I feel like you said you were leaving 20 minutes ago. Should be thought of as a box of tools you learn from reading other stuff. Chat. And you'll do well by having many tools in the box to use as it serves your story, rather than just copying things. Yeah. Original scope of dev knowledge only had 5e. Getting into other games is massive. Yeah, so yeah. If you want to design TTRPGs, play a lot of TTRPGs, right? But if you're designing a fantasy one, like, yeah, go play some sci-fi ones or something. You know, they're still using the same tools, which are your dice and roleplay, but say how they use it to construct something entirely different. That way, if you're doing your fantasy thing and you want to do something abnormal, you know, a little outside the box, you can look at those other things. There is that desire to be original, even as people tell you that you want to make sounds like it. Yeah. And that's the thing. With each passing day, with everything, each new thing that is made, that's one less original idea in the world, right? So no matter what you make, it exists somewhere else. Parallel thinking is a real thing. Like Peter's little hero game he's working on had a lot of overlap or crossover, what do you want to call it, with Glenn's Clever Cool Crazy, like as far as their wording and terminology and stuff. So like it happens. See you, Peter. Enjoy your lunch. You shouldn't enter games best by itself. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not. There was just no need for those other books. It's like, make a new story. So, and that's the thing. Like, you know, people like to pick on or complain about modern Hollywood or game studios and stuff, you know, remaking the same thing, or, you know, Borderlands having 20 different sequels and prequels and things in between. It's like, that has been a thing for a long time. Like, you know, 60s and back. When something is good, companies try and milk it. There are those who work, those who fight, and those who pray, but everyone prayed. My jam is fantasy ttrpgs, but I've been reading lots of sci-fi and war games for now. I don't know what it is about fantasy, but I just feel like they lend themselves very well to tabletop. And I don't know if that's because D&D is so big, you know, and that's what's kind of set the standard in everybody's mind. It's like, oh, tabletop fantasy. No. I don't know. Traveler is old sci-fi, but a good game, and I like what I read. I enjoy binging some Robert E. Howard and Fritz. Books do it a lot? Yeah, they do. But see, now, Dave, well, I say now, but it's been a thing for a while. One thing they'll do is when they get a story, instead of it being popular, and then like, oh, write a bunch more, like they did with Ender's Game and Lord of the Rings. Or I guess technically it was The Hobbit, then The Lord of the Rings. Sometimes, I think it's getting worse now because people like their trilogies and people just like having more content. When a book goes in, there will be a push to make it a trilogy, even if you don't have enough content to fill it. And that's why so many trilogies feel kind of empty in the middle. Because they had this whole story, they cut it in half, book one, book two, and then they're like, okay, what do we put in the middle here? And then they have like no time to actually come up with something decent. My struggle is that crunchy games seem to be falling out, and I'm trying to make a game with that kind of substance, like the magic system I'm making at the moment, using visual programming tools as a model for fully customizable spellcasting experience. So, you're not wrong. I feel like rules light games, and granted, I have a limited view on this because of my limited years of experience, but I kind of looking back and looking around, I feel like rules light, the wave started rising right about when I got into the YouTube sphere. But I acknowledge part of that might be because that's just what I like, so that's what I'm seeing. But, you know, in a world of self-publishing, right, and where we can just make something and throw it out there, obviously rules like games are going to get made faster, so naturally there's going to be more of them. But I do feel like there has been a wave of conversion of crunchy people when they finally try that rules light. They're like, damn, that was a lot better. Like, it just flowed better. Like, I didn't have to stop and look this up. And it's like, yeah, we just did things. And I think I had posed the question in an earlier stream. I wonder, the two 18-month campaigns I ran, how long would those have been if we had used a lighter system? Would they have been 9 months, 10 months, or even less? You know, if you stripped out all that rule lookup, arguing the fact that it takes 2 hours to fight a goblin, you know, just that part. And I have an old video where I compared a 5e bar fight with a bunch of goblins to an easy d6, and like, I counted the number of rolls, and it was like the exact same scenario, and I counted the rolls and how long it took, and it wasn't as drastic as I thought, but it was still pretty gnarly. People who tend to complain about Hollywood having no new ideas often also seem to be people who don't look for all the good stuff that flies. That too, Mark. There is a lot of good things out there, but not a lot of people have a marketing budget. And marketing is super expensive. Glee can tell you. And that's the thing. You know, that's what sucks about the whole thing, right? No matter what space you're in. Your product can be garbage, but if you got a marketing budget, people are going to buy it. It's so annoying. Pulp Era writers were a big open club full of collabs. The Hyperborean saga includes part of Lovecraft's mythos. Saw a video calling for more of the Flash Gets Space King. It moved. Content is very exemplary of someone wanting to devour all media. I mean it nicely when I say people really do need to touch grass. Yeah, there's just such just push to make more. And it's not just media. Like, that has been a thing since World War II. When we really got when we really figured out manufacturing. That's when we just said, oh, we can make more, and things became disposable and replaceable. So, DCCRPG is a good place of being lighter than D&D's been in forever, with the occasional crunch of weird spell mechanics, critical hit tables. Marketing is the worst. It is. But I mean, in that, when you look at a movie's budget, don't you triple it, right, for marketing? Or is it double or something? It's a very astronomically high number. People speed reading manga are the worst. I want to look up that video I did. Let's see, where's my channel? YouTube Studio. Videos. Oh gosh, was that the video where I made the Easy D6 mistake and I corrected it, and then at the end of it it was like, here's this for some reason? I don't know. Let me go find it. I felt so stupid when I did that. Just let me tell you wrong about Easy D6, but it happens. Yeah, here it is. Oop. Let me... Is that the whole thing? Okay. Alright. So, Lance... I'll just leave that there. And then we'll put this here. And then I saw... Right. And then this... Okay, that's all the good stuff. Let me put you guys over here so I can see what I'm doing. I pasted that picture somewhere randomly. I don't know where it went. But you're a squirrel, not a turtle. Yeah, man. I'm a squirtle. There's media out there that you shouldn't devour as fast as you can. The Count of Monte Cristo is one of them. Reddit is intended one chapter at a time. And that's, you know, a lot of people don't know that. Some of these big old stories that you have to read in high school or whatever, or college, like, they were serials. They came out slowly. And then you have to read them all at once. Stupid. And they're like, why can't you pay attention? But anyway. The bar brawl. So 5 players against 10 goblins. in 5e took 44 minutes and 10 seconds with 44 actions. So a whole minute for a single action, right? Easy D6, it was more goblins, less players, and it only took 15 minutes. So it wasn't quite the exact same scenario, but as far as characters doing things, we had 15 total characters on the map in 5e, and then 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it was the same amount of characters on the screen or the map, and they took 20 more actions, 19 technically, and did it in less than half the time. And actions being, I believe, just a roll. So like roll to hit, that was an action. I think that's how that worked. And then this whole session took half the time. Oh no, I'm sorry. It took 1 hour in Easy D6 versus it took a total of 6 in 5e. That's right. That's insane. So 1/6, right, of the time. That's insane. That is insane. So yeah, your 18-month campaign probably would have been like 4 months. Can you imagine? Squirrel was always your favorite. I have said a few times, Jordan, I don't know why Squirrel. I didn't pick Squirrel when I played Pokemon because it was Squirrel and Turtle. It's like two things I liked the most. I picked Bulbasaur, and he was my pal. He was my chum. I want a spreadsheet that's just this for every. Well, so this is something I've wanted to do more of, Jordan. It's just go through some games and run the same scene over and over and over and compare it to 5e. It's just like what was the difference? You know, because everybody knows 5e, so it's like, how does it compare to that? So how many more rolls? How much more time did it take? I mean, obviously you can only get 1-to-1 so much, but like if you play a sci-fi game. Depends on what parts of the game people like. Some like combat more than role-playing. That's true, that's true. So, but I thought this one was pretty glaring, we'll say. It's just like, wow, you know, despite... I think what surprised me more was how many more rolls Easy D6 took, despite having less mechanics that call for rolls. But I think, if this was an old video, I think the 63 actions took, I think that counted exploding crits. Because it's like, oh, I crit, I can roll again. Oh, I crit, I roll again. You know, you can do that, and you can just throw karma at it and keep rolling. So I think that's why that number went so much higher. But rules light for the win. People still can't believe I can do 3 combats with 7 players in 2-hour session of Ironbound. Yeah, it's something. I like the vector of actions as well. Like, I'd be curious to know how many actions it takes to deal with goblins in, say, Land of Veen. Yeah. Land of Veen, see, that one's different because, Land of Veen kind of encourages you not to fight. Like, how's it work, Jorbs? We got when you get into an encounter, what's the name of the stage? Like the haggling stage or whatever, where you try and talk your way out of it. I mean, it's weird, but it's kind of neat. There's a few rounds that you take before actually getting into a combat. You know, before the swords come out. It's not just, there's a goblin, gonna stab. Did that include armor saves? Yeah, I think an action in this context was just, I rolled a die. So, like when in Easy D6, when I, the GM, roll an attack, that was an action. You do your armor save, that was an action. So that's also probably why it went up so high. I mean, I might explain it in the video, but parlay, improvise, run, combat. Yeah, so combat's your last resort. Like I said, which is pretty interesting. But once you get into combat, I feel like it's pretty fast, but there's all this stuff you can do to try and avoid it. So like on this sheet for Land of Veen, your minutes might go up, but your actions are gonna, which if you're just looking at that, can make the game look boring. So it's like, oh my gosh, you spent all this time and only took this many actions. It's like, well, no, that was role playing, right? And goofing around and coming up with harebrained attempts to try, you know. The conflict procedures. Really want to get to a table again? Hey, I mean, you know, Wisp, if you want to play some games, we can play some games. We don't have to stream everything. I do need to test Moss and Stone, which means I need to come up with a map and a session and everything. Though I will say, I did get a lot of encouragement, or inspiration, I guess I should say. Motivation. Motivation is the word I'm looking for. When I went to that con recently at ColleziCon, and you know, it was just going from table to table to table playing, just seeing how short and not insulting when I say this, but nonsensical the sessions were. Like there wasn't really a plot. It's like, there's a bad guy, let's do the thing. The Streamline Superheroes had a fun little thing going. Like we were bouncing from time period to time period to time period, trying to get old heroes. So like there was a plot there, but it was still very, okay, you're in here, talk to this person, go fight the thing. Like it was a loop, but it was fun. The Nuts game was just an all-out brawl. What else did I play? Open Legend D6 had us on the boats, but it was still everything was just very direct and quick. So I was like, okay, you know, we could be doing. I make my sessions too complicated. I try to have too much going on. So I was motivated to simplify things because it was still super fun. Like everybody was into the characters and having a good time, and people were still invested too. Like, you know, they weren't just throwing their character to the wind and letting them die. My game has a little rule called the fight is decided. It's meant to shorten the cleanup part of a challenge when the outcome is certain. Meant to shorten the cleanup part. Okay. I like that. I remember when I was running D&D, there was some homebrew stuff. People have come up with that to just like, yeah, this fight is over. Let's clean it up. But that's neat that you got something baked in. Because that is, I don't know if you got HP pools or what going on, Cyros, but that can be a problem. Like when you know, it's like they only got a couple hits, like, you know, it's super obvious who's going to win. You need someone else to test Moss and Stone as you as a player? Well, yeah, that too, but con one-shots be like that. Yeah, I was gonna say, they were... I do understand that a con one-shot is very different than a regular one-shot, but it's good enough. It's more than good enough for, you know, testing out Moss and Stone and whatnot and getting some streams. I'm excited to play Streamline Superheroes on the stream. We're aiming for the 30th, I think. It's such a neat little system, and John's pretty cool. Game has HP, which means health pool. It also has injury tracks and traumas. Okay, you got both. Interesting. So, that'll be fun, but man, geez. Yeah, that is something I'm really slipping on. As far as the channel and work goes is live plays. But that's, you know, that's work I put on other people, which is why it keeps slipping through the cracks. Because it's like, hey, do you want to come here and put on a show and blah, 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 blah. You know, give me 3 hours of your day. Because, you know, it's like usually 2 to 2.5 hours for a stream, and then we meet up half an hour before to get stuff set up usually and make sure everything works. It feels like a tall ask, but I do acknowledge that they're getting to play a game and have fun. It should be fun. It'll be fun. Hey, speaking of, did you get your schedule yet, Dave? You gonna be able to make the Bashkin Bash Sunday? If you can't make the 30th, the Streamline Superhero game, that's fine. That's far enough out, and I'm still poking people, so. But the Bashkin Bash, you gotta be there for that one. One of these newer fantasy RPGs has an escalating momentum value that adds the current round number -1 to attack and damage rolls for everyone, encouraging speed and drive. Back interesting. Okay, it was different. It was called momentum. I was thinking of adventurous. Adventurous has a momentum mechanic. And you can only have one, I think. Because I remember this inspired my Take a Breather and Nuts. You can only have one, and it is a party resource, meaning everybody has to agree when to use it. But I think if you don't use it before combat's over, it goes away. And it's just like getting to add another die to the pool or something. But you gain a momentum whenever you roll a crit or something. So it was very aptly named. It's like, oh, you have the momentum, use it. You know, as soon as you get it, like try and burn it. So I liked it. Adventurous is just cool. Like, it is such a cool little thing. HP runs out, take an injury, HP refills. Okay, too many injuries and you take a trauma and are out of the fight. Okay, I assume injuries are probably pretty hard to fix, right? Pretty sure I will make the Bashkim, no problem. Okay. Great Helm also has momentum and you can fetch a knight to make them lose it. Draw steel or what, but I remember thinking that was interesting. Maybe not for everyone though. I've been hearing mixed things about draw steel. I know certain people that may or may not be in this chat right now that are in a certain YouTuber group chat and Discord had words about the layout of the draw steel book. There's much disappointment. Injuries take treatment and go away 1 per day of... Okay, yeah, so that is a long... If you have multiple. I like that. That's cool. There was something else. There was just something recently that was like that. You had these ticks. And then 1 day free. Man, what was that? I guess I could open up my PDF editor and see what I've opened recently. Well, 1 easy D6. Was it out? Was it outgunned? I know you can take wounds in that. Or conditions. Conan, it wasn't Conan. You know, I was gonna... I'll show y'all this. Jordan's like, I said what I said. But see, Jordan, you had people agreeing with you. Like, and I don't know anything about Draw Steel, but like you guys showed me their concepts and what they were promising and then what they delivered. And I was like, oh yeah, that's bad. Like, that's ugly. So something happened. There are flesh wounds that only last the scene. It's just a flesh wound. Remember seeing snips of it and being a bit visually dry. Yeah, that's a good word for it. Heartbreakers are always tricky to do right. Alright, can I... There we go. Let's see. Guys, also, I forgot to eat my lunch before I went live today, so I might skip away and go get a bowl of food here depending on how hungry I get, or how long we go. This was a game. I'm like covering myself. That works. This is a game somebody sent to me. And we were getting all geared up to play, and then all of a sudden they had some, I guess some life stuff happen, and they're like, nope, everything's getting pushed out, because they had a Kickstarter they were lining up to do, and it looked fun. It's 2D12s. Pick highest? Is that how it worked? I think it was. It was like 2D12, pick highest kind of thing. It looked pretty simple, but it looked fun. Cheery kind of thing. It's some fun art. I hope things come around for him. Matter of fact, we were gonna play next Saturday, I think is what I was trying to get people for, and I found some players and then reached out to them, and he was like, oh, we can't do it. I was like, oh, okay. Do you want to try the game? Gripes with layout aside. I don't know. Draw still. Nothing. I have no idea what it's like, but it's just some of those big fantasy ttrpg books that I just right away, the vibe I get is, oh, this is this person's D&D. And I just don't care. I need to finish conditions for my health stages. I've combined HP and wounds. The Ivory Thief background in my game got expanded now as a member of the Guild of False Limbs. Okay. There's a really gross picture I'm going to show y'all. Because I can't. It's not actually gross. It's just... some things registered different for some people. I gotta find it. But your Guild of False Limbs or whatever made me think of it. You also have not eaten. Got locked in. Black beans and peas. He was wondering what happened. Yeah, he didn't specify. So I don't know. Could have just been a job change. Could have been anything from just a job change to realizing he had a humongous mechanical issue to a death in the family. I have no idea. There it is. I keep meaning to send this to Peter. I hate this thing. I hate this thing so much. But I acknowledge it is a good monster. Where's my board? Look at that grossness. I hate how the fingernails are the mouth. Just the way they pop up, and just makes my hands and my bones and my body just But it is a cool monster. If y'all can even see it. What's with the faces, Mark? Are you the one that made Dungeoneers? Did I just expose you? Oh, what are they called? Snaps Trig. Oh, you got triggered from the monster. Maybe this. His face is all snuggly in there. Yeah, man. But then, like, the fingers are snake mouths. Yeah, don't like that? I don't either. It's just... But it's very well done. Yeah, we're gonna get rid of him. I don't want to look at him no more. TFE art, phenomenal. Or no, the TFE art is phenomenal. Yeah. I've been seeing some of them. They're really good. His ghost zombie bear thing. It was pretty rad. I hate it so good. Something you'd find in Dark Souls, yeah. Yeah. You know, I'm not gonna do it, but Wisp, what are your thoughts? Or anybody really. I just had Wisp in mind when I thought about it. Bi-weekly meetup where you have weekly or bi-weekly for your little ttrpg design group where you have to present something you have progressed on it since the last meetup, and like be prepared to show something off. So, you know, just not a whole one shot, just like, let's do a quick encounter, or here's this mechanic. That way you're constantly having to move forward. Like I said, that would be a really good group, but I don't want to take on that responsibility because I got enough to do. You know, on top of making the stuff, that, you know, having to organize this. I got Pinterest open now. I'm scrolling. Oh, that is a lot. Yeah, it would be. But I mean, like, to keep up with it and run it. But, you know, the problem is like, okay, if somebody doesn't have something to show, what do you do with them? You give them 30 lashings? Progress can range from making several NPCs in my system to changing a handful of names because I was stuck, in the language naming, rabbit hole. I got the hiccups. Accountability is another good way to keep a project on track. Yeah. At a certain point, well, see, Dave, at that point, you're done. Like, this is more like the design phase. If you're waiting on art, I would hope your design is done. Design being the game itself, mechanics and that, not book design. -3 on their next D6 rolls and whatever. Oh, dude, that would be funny if you had a campaign you were playing, but before you started your campaign session, everybody had to report on their project progress, and then they either got a buff or debuff. That actually be kind of fun. Oh, there's an entire prosthetic leg made out of animal tendons to make it act as a normal leg. It's slightly outside of my tech ceiling for rain, but a prosthetic limb guild just makes sense in the world. I agree. Would be very cool. Oh, here you go. I like a good tarot card design. I don't know about you guys, but that can be pretty solid. Actually, one of the art pieces I bought from Gen Con was it's just a big tarot card. Which I still have, so Gen Con's in a couple months, right? I still haven't hung up the art from the last one. I keep meaning to like, go to Walmart and see if I can just find some standard sized cheap frames that'll work. I need to measure all my pieces. There's got to be a couple that I can get away cheaply framing. I spent all my money on you know, the art itself. I ain't got money for frame. Can't do it. I need to get buddy with a framer. Give me a discount. Also, have you guys painted Wastelands? Ooh. This came up just earlier today. Have you guys ever used Dungeon Alchemist for anything? It's a 3D map maker, but you can still like top view export it for a 2D map, but it's got a lot of automated room generation and stuff like that. I feel like somebody in here used it. Was it you, Wisp? Dungeon Alchemist? I forgot where and why it came up, but it came up on my radar this morning, and I was like, I should reach out to them and see if I can get not a stream key, but a game key for a review or something. Because it does look neat. I feel like I need... A lot of times I feel like I've outgrown Dungeon Draft. But then am I getting too complicated? And then now it's going to take even longer to make a one-shot? Because with that one, what's it called? Dungeon Alchemist. I feel like you could just make some rooms real quick and get a map faster. Whereas Dungeon Draft, I fiddle with too long. Good tarot needs to make the fool. The Emperor and the Hanged Man the same person. That would be neat. I have Dungeon Alchemist, don't use it a ton, but it's fun to do occasionally. Okay. Is it actually any good though? Like, or does every map end up looking the same? Is it one of those deals? Very nice tarot card there. Just trying to talk about this. No, I went to Pinterest to go find a picture, and luckily you missed that. It's a very ugly picture of a monster, and then I just saw the Kermit tarot card over there. I was like, well, let's put that on the screen. So, who doesn't like a good Kermit meme? Dungeon Alchemist is nice. I was thinking you had it, Wisp. You can tell a dungeon... Well, yeah, but I mean, you can tell a Dungeon Draft map, too. The software is usually pretty recognizable, if you're familiar with it. But, like, does every map end up looking the same, is my question. You can load in a lot of community assets. Ooh. All right. I may have to get it. It's $45 though. That's why I wanted to reach out and be like, hey, you know, instead of paying $45, can you give me a key so I can spend like 3 weeks making a review video? And, you know, 30 hours of my time or more? That seems like a bargain. Yes, they do all look the same, Dave says. You can have Dungeon Alchemist auto-generate, and it looks pretty similar, but you can manually do everything and make it unique. Okay. Because, see, RPG Stories was supposed to do all that randomizer auto-generate stuff, but then they put it all behind a paywall. It was just like, okay. You silly turds. I was fairly disappointed with the direction RPG Stories went, because it was a cool tool, but they were just struggling to make ends meet, and then I think they kind of shot themselves in the foot. And they could not gain any momentum either. That was the problem. So, and obviously I still have it, but it's all the fast features, like I said, were behind a DLC paywall thingy, I think. Anyway. Depends on how you make your rooms. My biggest sad is they don't have a hex option for developing, only printing. Who's jamming? So, I remember a while back I tried to find a hex map of an interior and could not find one. Like, all the hex maps were like world map stuff. Outdoor traveling. Are hex maps generally not used indoors? Too complicated? Feels like sponsored messages and shorts is the only way you can get your name out there in the dungeon tubes at the moment. Well, so that's what RPG Stories. There you go. Had a brain fart. That's what they were doing. They reached out to a bunch of YouTubers, including me, and you know, we're just tossing keys in everybody's direction. Like, here you go, give it a shot. Cause yeah, they reached out to me like, hey, here's a key. And I was like, cool, I'll try this with my group. They'll be excited to check it out. And they're like, oh, is anybody in your group a GM? And I was like, well, all of them. And they're like, oh, here's 4 or 5 more keys. Here you go. Okay. So. That was kind of nice. But yeah, so they had this Kickstarter. Hang on. RPG Stories Kickstarter. Right. It already existed, and then they were doing this massive expansion for it, which was the Wrath of the Devs, and it made 28,000 pounds? Or no, that's euros. 28,000 euros. I think that's what that symbol is. Now, this is the sad and hilarious and super annoying part. How do I find this? I think I can just go to their profile. Yeah. This is what's so dumb. This is so dumb. And Glee has heard me bitch about this a bunch of times already. So, this massive piece of software, this massive update they're doing that provides all these features and tools and has all this labor behind it. 28,000 euros. Then they made a necromancer class for 5e that was also compatible with 2e, D&D. That raised 34,000 euros. It's like, what is wrong with this community? And it's just a PDF. I think they had some STLs too. Yeah. PDF and all the STLs you can download. It's like, really? It's like you guys could have made your own necromancer class, but you can't make your own software. It's like, well, I mean, I guess you can, but one is significantly more work. So like, I gotta imagine they were pretty frustrated when that happened. They're like, gee, we put all this work into this other thing and only made this much, and then we just made a custom class for 5e and, you know, almost doubled what we, well, not almost doubled, but we made like 50% more. Yeah, the necromancer raised more, way more. It's so dumb. Let's see, let me catch up. Depends on how you make your rooms. My biggest... Oh, wait, I said that. Yeah, for hex crawls. Yep. Most systems use squares for interiors. Yeah, what if I want hexes? Find hexes to be superior, but squares are more common due to interiors often being built on graph paper. Yeah. As I say, drawing a room on graph paper is certainly easier, or on squares. Going to Vanish to finish writing a sea shanty for Gen Con. See ya, Jorbs. No, there's a game with all the hex maps for combat, but I can't remember which one. Fathom, actually, I think, used hexes for their combat and whatnot. I'm pretty sure. If y'all remember that one. 5e subservice is so painful. We as a community are cooked. Dev equivalent to a warlock patron. So sad you couldn't make Cleese. Yeah, man, where were you? Also, welcome back. According to the Scroll of Truth, 5e sells. It does, and it's so tempting. Got a French GM who likes to make sheets in Google Sheets and use some basic code to make a bunch of calculations work automatically for us. Couldn't you just, like... I mean, hey, if it works, it works. But like, couldn't you just done that in Google Sheets and made it a lot easier? Or you did say in Google Sheets. I'm sorry. I thought you said Google Docs. Yep. Spreadsheets are awesome. They make hex graph paper now, at least. Yeah. But yeah, I was gonna say it's super tempting to make something for 5e, or I guess 5.5e now, whatever, and just rake in some cash to support your other ones. But like, then you're feeding the problem. And that's why I can't bring myself to do it. And that was something I was actually going to bring up like 2 hours ago. I've thought about it over and over, and I think I've brought it up multiple times. I don't know what it is that kind of rubs me the wrong way when people ride the coattails of another IP. Like, there's so many people making Shadow Dark stuff now, and it's like, meh. And before you say it, well, you're making Moss and Stone, it's like, well, I wasn't going to originally, but then we decided, hey, this would be an easy project to do, to get out, to test the waters of some things, which it did test the waters. And we saw how well that boat sailed. But, like, I also like Scotty as a person. So I'm like, this helps get him some eyes on Easy D6, especially if Moss and Stone takes off and goes somewhere. So, like, he benefits from it, and I like that because I like Scotty. Whereas I don't care about Wizards of the Coast, and I don't know anything about Kelsey's, right, the lady that made Shadow Dark, but like, Scotty's not exactly rolling in the dough from his work, so helping him feels a little better. It's just like, I don't know where that line is, and I don't even know why there is a line. Like, why if you want to make 5e content, what difference does it make? I don't know what it is, but it makes me wonder. It doesn't keep me up at night by any stretch of the imagination, but sometimes when I'm walking or something, I'll just be like, why am I like this? Google Sheets says a VTT is a hidden gem. Absolutely. It's very tempting to make a bunch of 5e junk. Yeah, it is. And those folks got money. Google, I can assure you, Scrat, if you make 5e Moss and Stone compatible as a stretch goal, you can make so much bank. Yeah. Like, I'm saying that Fungali race, the mushroom people Glee made, and then that campaign I made, I'm tempted to bundle that up and sell it as a 5e adventure because it was a 5e adventure. I'm sure it'd raise a stink ton of money, but don't want it. It's also a community I don't want to deal with. Like, I don't, when they come back saying, hey, this isn't balanced or this monster should blah, 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 it's like, I don't want to deal with it. I don't. Now, if you come to me with Moss and Stone, like, hey, I don't think this is balanced very well for this particular thing, I'll be like, all right, tell me about it. Whereas with the 5e community, I was like, there's no winning there, right? I want all my fun ideas for my own game. That's right. I have an annual meeting, like overlapping EcclesiaCon in 2027, but it's in DC, so my secret plan is to drive and do EcclesiaCon all Friday, then head out. Okay. Could do that. We have talked about it multiple times, Dave. I don't back 5e stuff anymore, and even if I like the creator and the project. Made it home. You are now live on my TV. It's proper Hangout. That's right. Crack open a cold one. I'm actually okay with some Shadow Dark stuff because it's pretty fun. Seeing less touched worlds return. Shadow Sun. Well, that's the thing. Like, there's nothing against. Kelsey's her name, right? Nothing against her. Like, congratulations to her and her success. She put a lot of work into it, and then she was very fortunate to have that perfect storm of events with Wizards of the Coast when her stuff came out. So that's very cool for her. But then, like I said, it's just, I see people making all the Shadow, like, turning it into a sci-fi setting. It's like, why? Go find a sci-fi game. Why takes this thing that's specifically designed a certain way and make it do this other thing? It's the meme of, oh yeah, I have my 5e hack. That's a Cthulhu horror game now or whatever. You can meet up. Why are you doing your Bash Can Bash from an Airbnb, Dave? What happened? I'm calling you out on stream. Seems like a pretty common concern, the layout of draw state. Oh, you're back there. Just respecting those that do it for the love of the game rather than for the clout. I don't think the Predator rolls are very balanced. Yeah, well, you know, Dave, that's because you're wrong. Actually, I don't know if you've played it since it's been adjusted. I also have the bad habit of rolling very hot with the Predator roll. I don't get it. It's like, okay, I got 2d6. It's like I can barely go any lower. Oh, I got a 6. Okay, all right. Scrat enunciates well, even on 3 times speed. No Jail Fiasco put so many eyes on the OSR and Shadow Dark came out. Yeah, I was saying she got. I hate to say, oh yeah, Kelsey got super lucky, but like, she did get lucky, but she also did do a lot of work. And that's nice. Like Peter has talked about like that before. Like you know, you do all the work and then you catch the luck when it happens. You know, you got to be ready for when that lucky moment happens. So she was, because she did the work, but luck still played a huge role in it. So Dark Space, it's what I'm trying to use to get a group of Forever 5e to play something new. Yeah, I was supposed to play in a game of Dark Space, but see, something like that, it's like, and I don't know anything about Dark Space. It might be super duper fun, but it's like, why would you take a fantasy game and then just make it something totally different? It's like, just either go find a new game or make a new game. The Kermit card looks fun. I got invited to play some games with some developers. Okay, so you, I hope you got good Wi-Fi at the Airbnb. Putting me on the back burner. That's all right. Who you playing with? I'm having wire troubles. Because Dan's also going to be in a hotel on hotel Wi-Fi. So I feel like that's getting better these days, depending on where you're at. Derek and Than are super nice, and with the different Dark Space is super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Some value-added additions to Shadow Dark mechanics. Okay, but why? Why didn't he just make his own game? I'm picking. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't know why this... I can't even say it rubs me the wrong way. It's just... I don't know. It gives me a feeling. Maybe it just confuses me. But like after Moss and Stone... I'm not going to say I'll never make another playset for something, but like... I certainly don't have any in mind. There's plenty of things I want to make, but they're all standalone. I just do not have the desire to spend a lot of time on something and create something that depends on somebody else's work. Because that is a lot of work. Well, I mean, so is making overhauling a fantasy game to play in space or something like that, you know? I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if I can even call my system compatible with Troika anymore. It doesn't feel compatible. Because making a whole game yourself is hard. Yeah, but so is making a good playset or module that stands out. Why is Moss and Stone not its own game? Well, we talked about that because and I just mentioned earlier, it was supposed to be a quick and easy project that tested the waters of something else. And we saw how well the we saw how well the test results went. So, but now I have to finish it. But I would rather Moss and Stone be its own thing. But this was supposed to be a quick and easy project to see how we did a work together. So. Because Derek's reminded me, jump on a great system with great community rather than just pound out your own from scratch. That's what you gotta do. That's what you gotta do, man. You gotta get in there and get the grit. Urgh. I am making playset for the first time. We will see. I thought you were just making a setting. Dave, for those, or is this something else? That superhero one, that was just a setting. Did you get another project? I think arguably generic systems tend to invite a lot of derivatives. Austin Stone Nuts editions. That's funny because, like, I also have similar feelings. Like, there are some setting agnostic systems that I really, really like. See Tricube Tales, right? But I have that similar kind of feeling when I see those because it seems like such an easy way out. But if you actually try and make a good, structurally sound setting agnostic system, then it becomes a lot of work. It's kind of a playset. Moss and Stone Nuts would be easy. I mean, that's just the lore, right? That's already done. Glenn did do the grind. That's right. He made Clever, Cool, Crazy. Or he's making Clever, Cool, Crazy. Excuse me. Everything's easy and nuts. Port Moss and Stone to Clever, Cool, Crazy. How would you port setting agnostic to setting agnostic? Bound system started. Bound system started. It was no setting. I thought you made that specifically for Ironbound. Don't beat me with a wet noodle, but I actually plan to leverage my mech mechanics to make a playset for Shadow Dark. Oh, no. Say it ain't so. Hey, you know, much better to feed the Shadow Dark beast than the D&D beast. So, if you want some money, go do that. Not K-pop Demon Hunters? I mean, what do you mean not K-pop? You can do nuts and K-pop, or K-pop and nuts. We've done it twice. It was supposed to be multi-setting. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you made, I thought you did Grimwood City for EZD6, and then you were like, I'll just make my own game. Because I got all the lore, and then you made a system for that, but... That's also why, because it was called the Ironbound system, which was Ironbound was something from Grimwood City, so that's why I thought it started there. Especially when you're trying to make a fully modular system like me, I have a core engine, one setting, a fully contained setting with the core in it, and I'm working on a magic rules module. There's still many more settings I need to make and many rules modules. You got a complicated game, it sounds like. Excuse me. Everyone has two D&D systems within them, and you must choose which to feed. Oh, man. Become a big fan of sci fantasy. I'm realizing that a lot of older fiction worlds were that, but just one side or the other more subtle. Be it just one side or the other more subtle. Actual pure fantasy is less common than I thought. Nope, the system was supposed to be a multi-system, which is why Plaguebound came out. Oh. Like Voidbound is what's Voidbound? Not superheroes. It's science fiction. Meetings jump on and then a flight to catch. See ya again, Glenn. Voidbound. What is Voidbound? Also, we're gonna update our Kermit meme. It's gonna be your sci-fi. Okay, so I had it right. I was right. There we go. I'm also making a GM toolbox to streamline content making, not just for myself, but to help others make their own content. I mean, yeah, you can make it easy for other folks. Just makes it better for you. Makes me think of 40k Voidbound. Usually better expanding worlds from previous lore than creating my own from scratch. I'm pretty good at adopting the voice and tone of the author. You're a ghostwriter. Gonna add a fear and space combat. Ooh, what are you gonna do that for? Don't tell me. I'll get it. The ocean incident. Is that gonna be like your test run? Hop off and eat food unless you're wrapping up soon. Want to do BBQ? I mean, I am hungry. If you want to make me a sandwich, I won't argue. Will you have your own lunch? Were you getting into the barbecue for lunch, or were you trying to do that for lunches and then have our lunches for dinner? I'll keep going. You can get into whatever you want, Glee. I'll eat when I eat. Really hoping to develop and take the core of my game to make system-specific games, somewhere between from scratch and house system. I'm a bit anti-generic. I'd say if you got like a core kind of, I wasn't gonna say a core resolution system, but more like a core feature, like Tales from Elsewhere and the Wounds. That's something you could carry over into other settings that very much like still have a similar feel. Like you're like, oh no, this is the TFE system, even though I'm in space now. Oh man, for a cat. Fear is going to be in the ocean incident. Nice. Either going to do my soup or we can do nachos or quesadillas. Oh, that sounds so good. Well, we'll have to do those probably tomorrow or tonight. I'm sure I'll be hungry again later. Really hoping. Oh, I already said that. I like the freeform magic and Plaguebound. The corruption was interesting too. Oddly good at writing prophecy. Oh man, I could have used you for the book I'm on now. I pulled my hair out trying to do that prophecy thing. I really did. I struggled with that. I didn't give you a spoiler because it's going to be forever before it comes out, but like there's this... I hear a cat. Crash? What are you meowing at out there? You good? Anyway, you get a prophecy at the very beginning of the story, and the idea is, you know, it's kind of vague, but not so vague it's not understandable. It's like, okay, I think I got an idea, and it's kind of supposed to lead the reader astray through the whole story, because they're getting bits and pieces of the character and they're like, oh, I see how he fits into this prophecy. And then at the very end, since this came from the devil of the world, you realize the whole thing was to just cause chaos and confusion, and multiple people fit into this processes and multiple theories, and it's just like, oh no, there is no right answer to this. It was all just to mess with everybody and get them killing each other. It's like, okay. So getting all that to line up right was difficult. Because difficult is a word. Let's see. Soup time. I'm a big fan of my health and profession system. Yeah, so see, like, that's something you could carry over. And that's kind of where I've been with nuts. It's like, You know, we've talked about having back and forth on like making modules or just lore dumps or something, but it's like, okay, you know, you just have that challenge dice mechanic, but then I can add new features here and there, new mechanics to like weapon durability if we're in the post-apocalyptic thing, but it would still be, you know, you have that core thing. I'm good at writing religions. All those years of wanting to be a priest paid off. Hey, religions are fun. They're very fun. And the more I work on them and come up with stuff for, you know, fictional settings, the more I realize I'm like, oh, this is why some people look at real religion kind of weird. Okay, I understand where they're coming from now. Even if they aren't 100% properly tested. Who's got time for testing? The dueling exploding dice system, the Deads. Just hit her up, says Carrie. Spoiler cat. It'll be a while. And I guess, I mean, it did spoil it, but it'll be a while before it comes out. And there's still plenty to read and figure out. I love vague rhyming to deceive the reader, though it will still like it being truthful. Yeah, well, I'm saying that was what made the prophecy so hard. Like it's not just a, oh, I lied to you. At the end of the story, when everything goes down and falls apart, you could still look at it and be like, did the devil actually lie? Because technically, this thing went down. And this person could have been the one in the prophecy mentioned, or this person could have been in the prophecy, but either way, these events happened. And it's like, he might not have lied, or he might have made the whole thing up just to cause confusion. So it's, I wanted to do it that way with the idea, you know, thousands of people will be reading this book, and I want to see all the theories they come up with. But we'll get there one day. Been struggling with my pantheon, trying to rework the names to fit languages of my setting. Many of the zodiacs were actual people from different parts of the world. That's cool. From certain points of view, indeed. Been jamming on this track. Mixing Catholic and Jewish mysticism. Having Jews nearby has helped so much. I'll say Twice Dead was helping me out too with some of that. With the story I was just talking about. The next book I'm doing is so... It's still the same world and it's still a fantasy thing, but it's a very different tone from the first one, from old Bashkim. So it will be interesting to see how that is received. Technically, is usually shoring up a weak argument. Works in context of the devil doing stuff, though. Yeah. I love deal with the devil at the crossroads kind of stories. Tales. Those are so much fun. Hi, cat. What you need? You gonna block the camera view with your big old butt? Oh, it might be fun to see a story where the prophecy is literally written in stone, but the actions of the group actively alter the words. Ooh, wow, fancy. They are fun, but you gotta catch them alone because they love debating. Yeah. So there is one. There's another story I started a long time ago that really gets into the dragon lore of the world. And that one was about prophecies being bullcrap. Like, they set this kid up like he's this chosen one and blah, 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 blah. And he ends up encountering an older individual who is worn out, kind of a bum, living in the woods. And he's like, oh yeah, they told me the same thing. I was also the chosen one and was gonna do all this stuff. Prophecies are balunky, so I don't know if that'd actually be part of it or not, though. So, like I said, I started that story a long time ago. All the dragon lore is cool, but it is technically not even a Kesho Knight story. It's just one I was doing, so I'm gonna try and carry it over into the Kesho Knight world and use it. That's what I'm trying to do with all the stories I had been working on and writing. It's like, all right, let me take them all and put them in this world, connect them all, because I want to make my life hard and difficult. So, even the science fiction ones. Matter of fact, Carrie, you've read Bashkim, so the guy that shows up, the guy that wrote the epilogue, I always get those confused. The epilogue, and that was there with Bashkim at the end, and and gave him the choice and everything. That guy is writing all these stories. He was a science fiction character. I had written a story about him, and I wanted to have him pop up in all my science fiction stories because I thought everything was going to be in a sci-fi universe. So, might be fun to see where the oh no, I already read that. And then they meet and they name an older fool who still believes the prophecy. So now it's up to you if you want to shatter that illusion for their old man. Oh man, take you out, Grandpa. You're the chosen one. That fairy short from Punky Doodle Zack speaks giant. The fairy's constantly telling kids who they find they are chosen ones until it turns out to be true. I haven't mentioned it yet, but there is a secret setting percolating. Oh, Clever Cool Crazy gonna get its own setting. Love a good crossover. Well, not really a crossover, I don't guess, because I'm just redoing everything. But yeah, he was a science fiction character, and he was going to be my main one. But yeah, I was like, well, no, he's going to be we're doing the fantasy world now. And he's the one writing all the stories, and he will make an appearance in all of them, ideally. Fairies would do that. They would, wouldn't they? All right, Glenn. What kind of setting is Clever Cool Crazy gonna get? Gonna be fantasy or science fiction, or is it gonna be inside somebody's brain? Since that's what you do in the dream. What was I? It was Blaze's one shot I've been working on. Blaze has a super cool. One of his settings for World Shapers is very cool. What's it called? I guess I could just pop it open. I have the document here. I had the document. Where'd it go? Alright, that's the name. Headcanon Multiverse, and the idea these are all the stories that people in the universe have worked on. So, those projects you start that you kind of start forgetting about and stop working on, they start fading, and you play as the fictional characters to go fix that world. It's super cool. I think it's a really fun setting. And he's got this one shot supposed to be just like an hour or two. Simple for beginners, both GMs and players. And I was just like, I'm writing it up for him. I was like, man, there's so much more you could do with this. You can, do the thing I like to do and make it way too complicated, because it's all about storytelling. So much fun. Oh. Yep, it'll still be a universal system, but it will also have an available setting. All of the above. I like timelines and alternate history, so there will be parts of the setting for pretty much all genres. I want a really good alternate history video game. Like a World War II video game with weird mutant robots and stuff. Sandman's Library, the book's imagined but never written. Something like that, yep. But that's what you do. You in this particular one-shot, you and your party are getting sent off to this world that a kid made, and he never finished it, and it's starting to fade, and he's got these things called memory eaters. So, you know, they're, when something starts getting forgotten, they start munching on it, and that's what ends up making it go away permanently. So I was like, man, that's so cool. So Wolfenstein, yeah, I've never played that. I guess I need to. I thought it was more like exaggerated history. Or did it actually do the alternate thing? Kermit just took it. He's that strong. The Langoliers. Did I even pronounce that right? Stephen King. Oh, that's like the memory. Yeah, I kind of. Those are weird looking. This is a goofy looking movie. The Langoliers follows 10 passengers on a red-eye flight who wake up to find the rest of the plane's documents vanished. Boy writes some weird stuff. You can fight the H-Man in a mech suit. Okay. That was Wolfenstein, wasn't it? Yeah. They eat the past. Okay. So yeah, pretty similar. Like, I know Blaze hasn't read that, so that's some more of that parallel thinking I was telling you about. Maybe Kermit could be our new Chuck Norris. Oh, that'd be funny. In Spanish, Kermit was called Rene. Because it sounded like frog in Spanish for so long. For the Muppets movie, they had to say that Renee was his stage name. Goes by Kermit now. I'm sure I didn't pronounce that right, but... Here's another Kermit. I gave you two. Two for the price of one. There you go. Chuck Norris took on the mantle of Kermit with the passing of the great Henson. Now Kermit needs no puppeteer after being Norsed. Oh man, y'all silly. That's worked well together. I thought so. Like a good Kermit meme. Let's see. I did that. I guess Dungeon Alchemist has a... It had a demo, didn't it? We might just try that real quick. Dungeon Alchemist, $45. Oh my god. Yeah, download Dungeon Alchemist demo. let's try it out. I don't think that's right, guys. That's a very small demo. It's so small it doesn't exist. Let's try it. Hopefully it's not too big. 3.6 gigs. We'll see if I start dropping frames. See if I can download and stream at the same time. Oh, I'm gonna flex my internet here. Any more progress on the Nuts art crowdfunding? No, I haven't done anything. I poked Peter's wife, and she said, I might have told you this already. She said, yeah, she'd like to. She wasn't sure about drawn vehicles, and seemed a little unsure about items. But she also said to like give her plenty of heads up if I'm gonna go that direction. So I was like, okay. Kind of got the vibe she might not have wanted to do it, but I was like, I feel like that would have come up when I first asked you for 10 samples for said game that will have a Kickstarter later down the road. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just reading the room wrong. Dungeon Painter Studio is another thing I've tried. I have that one. I used that in my first campaign or two before I found Dungeon Draft, and it's pretty cool. I've kind of been meaning to go back and try it again because it's like, you know, that it was a little finicky and wasn't very user friendly, but I think it might be superior to Dungeon Draft. I don't know. In another program I got on the Humble of the Bundle, I forgot what it's called. Its icon had a yellow feather. I don't know that one. No, I'm still here, mustache. I'm about to fire up Dungeon Alchemist, the demo. It's 99% done. It is still 99% done. It is done. Just a map tool I'll look when I get home. Or not just a map tool. Alright, let's fire this bad boy up. Okay, I'm gonna have to add a new thingy over here. I guess game capture? Dungeon Alky. Specific window. Dungeon Alchemist. Ah! Okay. Well, you guys are gonna get like a tiny view of it, I guess. I can't be covering up my beautiful face. Also, speaking of covering up my face, I just realized, why is like my chat and camera crop so weird? Is it cause that? I don't even know what I'm looking at. I had Word open. That's what it was. Okay. Well, I guess we'll just put that right there. Let's see. Let me catch up here. The bot is... That's right, Carrie's a bot. I forgot. Got any systems to recommend that include rules for item crafting? I need some inspiration for how to implement something like... So, Land of Eam, I have not used it, but Land of Eam has, I am told, an in-depth crafting system that's super fun, super cool, super neat. So that might be something you're looking for. As far as Glee saying Nuts has something for item crafting, I don't think it's what you probably mean by item crafting. There's just a skill that lets you say, I want to make something, and then you roll for it. You know. I think in Land of Veem, like, you have to have components and stuff like that, so. Depends on what you mean. Map Tool 3. Harry Windows 2000. You did try, Glee. I appreciate it. Okay. Alright. Let's go. Click and drag on the map to select tiles. Drag over additional tiles to make any shape you want. Click the check mark to confirm. Or the cross to start over. Okay. Ah! Oh gosh, it's 3D. How do I... Okay, that's how we do that. There is a big rock in my way. Oh my gosh. Everything's locked. What can we do with terrain? Oh, good. I don't have any options. What is this demo? Come on now. Bloop, 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 bloop. Let's show you around. Pan. Yeah, I figured that one out. Scroll. There we go. I mean, it sure did fill it up, didn't it? So if I wanted a little... my toilet room back here. So it made a door. Okay, so I can place objects. Click on okay. You said I could right click. Scale. Okay. Yeah, I want this to be my royal bathroom. That was all one thing. Looking for ideas on how to give players the power to customize their range. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, the nuts. Wonderdraft. That's what it was. I thought Wonderdraft was like an overworld map maker. Cause I think that's the one I tried. I was actually gonna make a map for Bashkim, my book, and put it in there. Wonderdraft is the world drawing app from Dungeon Draft. Yeah. Extremely unfamiliar with American evangelism. I doubt. Say I know more of Eastern Orthodoxy. Give players power to customize their range and item effects. So yeah, so nuts, super simple game. There is an ability called Crafter, and you just say it's got to match your character and what you're doing, and your surrounding elements might come into play if the GM so desires. Like if you're in the middle of a junkyard, you might be more likely to find what you need. You say, I want to make thing. If the thing is a bomb, like there's some set rules for, okay, you can only do this much damage with crafted items. But then if you're like, yeah, I want to make some kind of scope for my rifle so I can take a longer shot. He's like, okay, roll dice to see if you're able to make it. And then you make it. And then he adjusts the roll for your shot that you're trying to do from there. Like he might give you some free dice or lower the difficulty. Tales from Elsewhere has a similar thing. Jimmy Rig, I think it's what it's called. Where you pretty much same thing. I want to make a thing, and it's just a one use it breaks, which is also how it works in Nuts, which is also how there's an ability in Moss and Stone too. You just make a thing and it breaks after one use. So you just say, I'm going to make this, and then you do. Very, very loosey-goosey. But like I said, if you're wanting like crafting system, I would poke Land of Veem and see what that's like. Incarnate. I'm familiar. Maybe that was the one I got. Or maybe I tried both. Maybe. Anyway. Where's the toilet? I can only use a stool and a bar stool. Well, This demo makes me sad. Oh, latrines. Here we go. Chamber pot. There we go. So we click. Boom. We have... How was I doing that? Okay. Can I not like make it? There we go. Big toilet. We have the trademark patented Scrat bathroom on the map. Well, that's pretty spiffy. The group latrine. You can poop with friends. Looky. Oh, you can't. Oh, yeah, you can. There you go. Poop with friends. Very cool. I like how you guys can just barely see it. Because I got it cropped in a weird spot. What was it? I have two options for chairs I have access to. But I have like more than half the page of toilets the demo gives me. That's fun. Okay, so this is pretty neat. Oh, there's a cat bed. That's huge. Feline bed. You can scale it down. How do I zoom? I just have to not be hovering over it. Okay. Medieval cat bed. Many thanks, says Marco. You are welcome. What dungeon builders do y'all find had the best bang for their highly budgeted buck? Well, see, that's what I was kind of looking at. This one's kind of expensive. Technically, Carrie, there's a website just called Dungeon. It's DUNGEM. You can just click a button and get a random map. Dungeon Draft's been very solid for me. I think it's 25, 30 bucks or something brand new. It's pretty solid. Pretty easy to use. Raised Catholic. Map tool. Oh, I don't know that. Dave, what's that one? We were just talking about it recently. It looks like Dungeon Draft, but it like has all the weird automated or animated stuff to it. It's from, I think it's from Crosshead Studio. They have an asset pack for Dungeon Draft, but I think he's making his own map tool too. It looks to be super cool, but it's been in development for a long time. Look at there, candle. Right. Oh god, I didn't mean to move it. I mean, I would use this, because then you can just have, oh, stop it. Because then you could just export this map, boom. I don't know, would that be, like, hard to see? Well, what's an export look like? I know I saw a thing on their site you could export as a VTT, or a generic VTT map or something like that, and bring it into Foundry. But let's see what it looks like as a JPEG. Alright. I get the idea. Ah! Untitled map. Oh, it doesn't have the grid. Oh yeah, it does. See, that seems like that would be kind of hard to... Here's my token from Outgunned. So let's see, I would be about yay big. I guess that. I guess it works. And in fact, it kind of started in a bar in Outgunned, right? So here we were all sitting here, chilling at the bar, and then a guy came in, boom, 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 and then we all jumped out. Okay, I guess it works. Terrible at mapping. Same. Nimble hold. Tuesday grid. That one's low grid set. Yep. Yeah, so that's kind of neat, I guess. Bartender back there. Okay, okay. It seems cool. What was the other one though? Nimble hold and map tool. Nimble hold and map tool. Where? Oh. Map. Okay. RP tools. Map tool will always be free and always be supported by people that love to game. Okay. Oh, map tool is actually a VTT. Its primary role is a virtual tabletop. Interesting. Like a VTT with a map builder tool. Their website needs some work. Okay, so Nimble Hold was by CrossFit. Okay, yeah. See, I don't want to doo-doo on the guy's work, but I feel like this Nimble Hold thing, I'm not understanding why. It's like, it's cool, like all this, you know, swaying trees and stuff, but like, when you export it, that's not coming with it. I guess unless you do an animated map. Like, it looks very much like Dungeon Draft, with just some extra features. That bridge is pretty great though. I'll give him that. Seems pretty dope. Let's see. You can choose to add a group. Oh, I already said that. Moving too much makes me seasick. Yeah. Arkenforge is one Wes loves. Arkenforge. It is also a tabletop according to this. Make your in-person games more fun and immersive, and let your beard to play. One-time purchase, but why does it have multiple? You get some assets. Oh, you just get more assets. That's kind of neat. I like that they're all one-time purchases. Whoa. Animated maps. Yeah, I gotta. Cat. He's hanging out with us now. Alright. I mean, it looked kind of neat. You did get to pet him, Mustache. I thought I recognized that map for a minute. I thought that was the one Jordan ran us through a while back. This is fancy. There was a lot of ink he used on that. I haven't tried it, but Wes was exclusively that until Dungeon Alchemist. I'm kind of surprised he likes Dungeon Alchemist. I think that's what made it pop up on my radar this morning was I saw him in Discord as he was using it. Campaign Cartographer 3+ was the one I was looking for. I bought them all together a long ago, and stopped playing for a while. So memory is messy. That one sounds familiar. I feel like, because I looked at a lot when I was first getting into the campaign thing or did tabletop. Yeah, 3+. Is this the one you could download and had like the ridiculously old, outdated interface? I might have this. Anyway. Cartographer is super hard, yeah. Since it uses AI, I'm very surprised. Now, mind you, the AI is not content, just how it placed down the content. Yeah. I mean, that's just a random answer. Tried the domino pieces for terrain, it worked well. Hey. Look at you. Yeah, okay, Wisp. I think I tried it very briefly. Also, I do have, in an hour, a call I'm supposed to get on, so. Man, that's a dead cat over there. It makes it look like the... Hang on. Where's... It makes it look like I have the camera this far from his face, but really it's like pretty far away. I don't think I can zoom out. Is there a zoom? Oh yeah, it is. It's all the way back as I can go. Dead to the world. Oh, he hears a bird outside. Yeah. You should go right. Yeah, I will. No, you're fine. A wisp. We're just, that's what we're doing. Just hanging out. Watching the, the cat finally got settled. I'm probably gonna get up soon. Probably fix my OBS after trying to do this vertical nonsense. I'm saying all they gotta do is add that feature where I can slide it over and get it fixed. And I still have no idea. I mean, it says I'm streaming vertically. Hang on, let me... Oh, Peter sent me a... Oh, that's... Never mind. I thought that was something totally different. So, on my... If I go to the YouTube app, and I go to my channel, and I go to my channel. Alright, so on the home page of my channel, it's live, and it shows the horizontal. If I go to the live tab, interestingly enough, it does not say I'm live. If I go to shorts, nothing. So, what if I search a squirrel plays? What comes up? My live. Oh, okay. I got confused. I thought I was also streaming a Moss and Stone thing at the same time and it messed up. No, it's not. Yeah, I guess scrolling shorts is the only way to find a live stream vertical. That's that is a choice, YouTube. That is a choice. Anyway, guys and gals, I think I am gonna cut it there because I do have a call to get on in an hour. Gonna get some food in my belly, and let's see what we have coming up. Oh yeah, tomorrow. No, wait, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong week. Nothing tomorrow. Friday is the VTT interview. The Harpy VTT, and it's super cool. I think y'all will find that interesting. But also, a week from tomorrow, I will be interviewing the gentleman that makes Questline VTT. So I got a couple VTT interviews to do. But Sunday is the Bash and Bash. That's the one I'm excited for. Hopefully Dan and Dave's internet is good and they can participate. So I will be getting writing feedback, but also putting myself out there for others to see. Like, hey, here's what the guy did. Let's actually look at his work and see if he's all that in a bag of chips, you know? That's right, Polygon Convention. That's right. You mentioned that last time. But it'll be there for you to watch. I do. Harpy's free, so feel free to. It's harpy.gg. Harpy.gg. So feel free to go check it out, like if you want to. And yeah, Lord Alfred. That he will be on the stream next week. He's got a cool BTT as well. So I will see y'all Friday for that. Thanksgiving Rim. That's right. We're gonna talk about it, and we're gonna see if I did good or did bad or what I should work on. So it'll be interesting. It'll be good for me and good for everyone, I hope. But until then, I will see y'all later. Goodbye.